Have you ever walked into your living room, looked around, and suddenly felt like the walls were closing in? Not because the space got smaller, but because the stuff just kept growing? That old lamp in the corner that doesn't even work anymore. The pile of magazines you meant to read 5 years ago. The kitchen drawer full of, who knows what. You tell yourself you'll sort through it next weekend, but somehow, next weekend never comes. Sound familiar? Now, let me ask you something deeper. When was the last time your home felt like peace? See, this isn't just about mess. It's not about being neat for neatness' sake. For so many seniors, clutter becomes a silent stressor. It creeps up slowly, piece by piece, until it starts taking up not just physical space, but mental space too. It makes moving harder, sleeping lighter, and living less free. And here's the hard truth, sometimes the things we hold on to the tightest are the very things keeping us stuck. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. Today, I want to show you something different. I want to give you 6 brutal, no-nonsense decluttering hacks that real seniors, just like you, have used to take back control of their homes in just 48 hours. These aren't fluffy tips. These are powerful steps that can help you breathe easier, move safer, and feel lighter, emotionally and physically. And the best part? You don't need to throw away everything or spend weeks doing it. You just need the right mindset. And a little bit of courage. So, if you're tired of living in a space that no longer reflects who you are today, stay with me. Because by the end of this video you'll have everything you need to transform your home, and maybe even your heart, in ways you didn't think possible. Now I want you to do something simple but powerful. Comment, "I'm ready," if your home, or someone you love's home, needs a gentle reset. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on honest, heart-centered advice right here on Elderly Wisdom Guide. Let's get started. Let's start with something simple, but powerful. Hack number 1, the one-touch rule. When Linda, a retired schoolteacher from Ohio, finally decided to tackle her clutter, she knew she had to do things differently. Her hallway closet was bursting at the seams, and every time she opened it, an avalanche of coats and forgotten memories came tumbling down. So, she made a rule. Just one. If I touch it, I decide. No second guessing. No, I'll think about it later. No letting things float in that dangerous, maybe, zone. She grabbed 3 bins. 1 for keep. 1 for donate. 1 for toss. And with each item she picked up, whether it was an old photo frame, a worn-out pair of shoes, or a birthday card from 1987. She made a choice. Right then. Just once. And you know what happened? She got through more in 2 hours than she had in 2 months. Because here's the thing, decision fatigue is real, especially as we get older. The more choices you delay, the heavier everything starts to feel. You might think you're saving time by creating a decide later pile, but what you're actually doing is piling up mental weight. And that stress? It lingers. It slows you down. It steals your energy. Now, I know it's tempting to hang on to things, just in case. You might think, maybe I'll use this someday. But someday often turns into never. And the clutter stays. So instead, give yourself permission to trust your instincts. If you haven't used it, touched it, or needed it in the last year, it's probably not adding to your life anymore. Set up your 3 bins. Keep. Donate. Trash. And commit to the one-touch rule. If it's in your hand, it's decision time. No maybe piles. No putting it back. You either love it, use it, or lose it. But I get it, not everything is easy to let go of. What happens when the thing in your hand isn't just a shirt or a spatula, but a memory? What about the gifts, the souvenirs, the photos, the letters, the things that tug at your heart the moment you touch them? Well, that brings us to hack number 2. And it's one you don't want to skip. Hack number 2, the 3 memory rule. Now let's talk about the kind of clutter that isn't just physical, it's emotional. George, an 82-year-old widower from Florida, had a garage stacked with cardboard boxes. Inside them, decades of photo albums, handwritten cards, knickknacks from vacations, even receipts from dinners with his late wife, Margaret. To anyone else, it might have looked like junk. But to George, those boxes were memories, love stories, pieces of a life he didn't want to let go of. He couldn't bring himself to part with a single thing, until one day, his daughter came over with an idea. She called it the 3 memory rule. She said, "Dad, I know this stuff means something to you. But we can't keep it all. So let's do this, pick the 3 things that remind you the most of Mom, just 3. And we'll find a special place for them." At first, George resisted. But then he sat down, opened one of the boxes, and slowly began to choose. He kept the photograph of their honeymoon in Maine, the one where Margaret's hair was blowing in the wind. He saved a silver charm bracelet she wore on every anniversary. And he chose a letter she'd written him before her final surgery, folded neatly, yellowed at the edges. That was it. 3 powerful keepsakes. Everything else, he let go. Now listen closely, because this is important. We don't hold on to clutter because we need it, we hold on to it because we're afraid of losing the memory attached to it. But here's the truth, your memories don't live in shoeboxes. They live in you. In your heart, in your laughter, in the way you tell stories, in the smell of her favorite perfume that still lingers when you walk past certain flowers. You are the memory. And when you free yourself from the weight of the many, you give the few, the meaningful few, the spotlight they deserve. So, here's what you can do, set aside one shelf. Or one box. And call it your memory shelf. Your legacy box. Whatever name feels right. In each category, photos, jewelry, letters, souvenirs. Choose just 3. The ones that instantly warm your heart or bring a tear to your eye. Let those 3 speak for the dozens you no longer need. It's not about forgetting. It's about honoring what matters most, without drowning in the rest. Now that we've talked about the emotional clutter, let's turn to something more urgent. Because while memories might weigh on the heart, clutter under your feet? That can put your entire health at risk. Let's move to hack number 3. This one could save you from a life-changing fall. Hack number 3, the walkway test. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret lives in a cozy little home in Northern California. She's always been independent, sharp, witty, and proud of doing things on her own. But one morning, while heading to the kitchen for her usual cup of tea, she tripped. Just one foot caught the edge of a stack of old cookbooks that had been sitting near the hallway wall. Books she kept meaning to put away. She fell hard. Fractured her wrist. Bruised her hip. And worse, it shook her confidence. Now here's the thing. Margaret was still active. She still drove. Still gardened. But that fall? It made her second-guess everything. Every step. Every reach. Every movement in her own home. And sadly, her story isn't rare. Falls are the #1 cause of injury among seniors. Not illness. Not accidents outside the home. Inside, where we feel safest, where we let our guard down. Cluttered walkways. Boxes, chairs, laundry baskets, loose shoes, dog bowls, become landmines. You might think, oh, I can step over that, I've done it 100 times. But here's the reality, our balance and reflexes change with age. What felt easy 5 years ago can become dangerous today. According to the CDC, you need at least 3 feet of clear space in every main pathway, hallways, kitchen routes, bedroom access, bathroom entrances. That's not a lot. But in many homes, even those few feet are full of trip hazards. So, here's what I want you to do. It's called the walkway test. Walk through your home. Not rushed. Just normal pace. Bring someone with you if you can, a spouse, a friend, even a neighbor. Walk from the bedroom to the bathroom. From the kitchen to the front door. And every time you have to sidestep, squeeze, or shuffle, mark that spot. That's a hazard. That's something to clear. Because sometimes it's not the big messes. It's the small things, the forgotten things, the things that don't look dangerous, until they are. Margaret's stack of books didn't seem like a threat. But it changed months of her life. Don't wait for a fall to realize it's time to create space. Do the test. Clear the path. Give yourself room to move confidently, safely, freely. Now, we've talked about clutter you can trip over. But what about the clutter that hides behind closed doors, that builds up in drawers and cabinets, silently overwhelming your space? Let's move into the kitchen, because hack number 4 might surprise you. Hack number 4, the 10-item kitchen sweep. Let's step into the kitchen now, the heart of the home for many of us. It's where we've shared stories over soup, where grandchildren baked cookies beside us, where the sound of the kettle meant company was coming. But for Paul, a widower in Texas, the kitchen had slowly become more of a museum than a workspace. His cabinets were packed, blenders, 2 crockpots, a hand mixer that hadn't worked since 2012, 6 ladles, 3 different sets of measuring cups, and he lived alone. One afternoon, as he tried to shove a plastic container into an already full drawer, something clicked. He stopped. Looked around. And said out loud, "Why am I keeping all this?" That day, he gave himself a challenge. Pick 10 things and let them go. 10 items, no drama, no overthinking. Just a quick sweep of the kitchen for anything he hadn't used in the last year. And by the end of that 15-minute exercise, his counter had space again. His drawers opened without jamming. And most importantly, he felt in control again. Because the truth is, kitchen clutter can sneak up on you. It's not always piles on the floor, it's in the drawers, the shelves, the corners of the pantry. It's all those duplicates we keep, just in case, all the tools we thought we'd use one day but never did. And those items? They don't just take up space, they add visual noise. They make you feel busier, more scattered, more overwhelmed. Here's the thing, if you haven't used it in the last 6 months, odds are, you're not going to miss it. And if you haven't even seen it in a year, you probably forgot you even had it. One common mistake I hear all the time is, "But what if I need it later?" That's fair. But let me ask you, how often does later actually come? That second pan? That extra coffee grinder? That electric bread maker you used once in 2010? If it's collecting dust, it's not helping you. It's holding you. So, here's your practical step, start with small items. Utensils. Tools. Gadgets. Pick 10 things. Just 10. Set them aside. Donate them. Gift them. Let them move on. You'll be surprised how even small progress like that creates momentum. And once you get a taste of that freedom, you might just keep going. Now, we've covered the clutter that gets in the way, and even the clutter that hides in drawers, but what about the kind that sneaks into your life through guilt? Let's talk about the things you hold on to not because you need them, but because you feel bad letting them go. That's where hack number 5 comes in. And it might just change how you look at everything you own. Hack number 5, the "would I buy it today?" test. Let's talk about Elaine. She's a vibrant 76-year-old from upstate New York with a keen eye for style and a deep appreciation for quality. Years ago, she bought this big, beautiful, velvet armchair. It looked like something out of a magazine, deep green, polished wooden legs, firm cushion. It was expensive, too. She saved up for months to get it. But over time, that chair went from being her favorite reading spot to a sore point, literally. It no longer supported her back. It was heavy to move, awkward to clean around, and didn't match anything else in her space anymore. Still, she kept it. Every time someone asked why, she'd say, "It cost me a fortune. I can't just get rid of it." Until one day, her niece asked her a simple question, "Aunt Elaine, if you saw that chair in a store today, would you buy it again?" She paused. Then, she smiled. Not a chance. That one question flipped a switch. See, so many of us hold on to things. Not because we love them anymore, but because we feel guilty about what they used to mean or how much they used to cost. That guilt keeps us trapped in the past. It keeps unnecessary things in our homes, and heavy energy in our hearts. But here's the shift I want you to make today: price doesn't equal value, especially not anymore. If something in your home no longer serves you, comforts you, or brings you joy, then it doesn't matter what it cost back then. If it's hurting your body, cramping your space, or simply doesn't fit the life you're living today, it's not an asset, it's a burden. Try this test for yourself. Walk through your home, look at that old couch, that extra table, the third winter coat in your closet, and ask honestly, would I spend money on this right now, knowing everything I know? If the answer is no, then why let it take up space? Use this test on your furniture, your wardrobe, your decorations, even that china set collecting dust in the cabinet. Let go of guilt. Let go of the past version of you who bought it. Make room for the you that exists now. And now, it's time for our final hack, one that brings everything together. Because sometimes you don't have weeks to declutter slowly. Sometimes, life calls for action. Fast. Focused. Transformational. And that's where hack number 6 comes in. Ready? Let's finish strong. Hack number 6, the 48-hour room reset. Let me take you into Robert's story. Robert, a 79-year-old retired bus driver from Illinois, had just come home from surgery. His mobility wasn't what it used to be, and his doctor stressed the importance of creating a safer living space, immediately. The trouble was, every room in his house felt cluttered. He didn't know where to begin. Boxes in the hallway, old newspapers stacked on the dining room chairs, cords trailing from one corner of the living room to the next. It all felt like too much, until his son stepped in with a plan. A simple one. "Dad," he said, "we're going to reset this home, one room at a time. Just give me 48 hours. And that's exactly what they did. They picked the living room first. Set a timer. 4 hours. That's all. No jumping to the bedroom. No distractions in the kitchen. Just that one room. They cleared out furniture that no longer served a purpose. Coiled and tucked away cords. Pulled the recliner closer to the window. Made sure nothing blocked his path from the sofa to the door. By the end of the first day, that living room didn't just look different. It felt different. Open. Calmer. Safer. The next day, they did the bedroom. Repositioned the bed. Removed a bulky dresser he hadn't opened in years. Cleared the floor around his nightstand. Added a brighter lamp. And just like that, in 2 days, Robert's home became livable again. Not perfect, not finished, but radically better. See, this is the heart of the 48-hour room reset. It's not about decluttering your entire house in one exhausting marathon. That's how people burn out. That's how you end up halfway through a dozen unfinished piles. This method works because it's focused. One room. Start to finish. No hopping around. And why does that matter so much, especially as we age? Because when we see clear, visible results, when we can stand in a room and feel the change, it boosts our confidence. It motivates us. It reminds us that progress is possible, even when we feel overwhelmed. Here's what I want you to do. Choose your most used space. For many, that's the bedroom, bathroom, or living room. The place you move through most often. The space where safety matters most. Then, set a timer for 4 hours. No phones. No distractions. Just you and the task. Take breaks when you need to. Hydrate. Play music if it helps. Toss what's broken. Box up what you don't use. Relocate what doesn't belong. Make the space work for today, not 10 years ago. And when you finish that room, celebrate it. Walk through it slowly. Breathe in that feeling of order, of calm, of control. Because this isn't just about decluttering a house, it's about restoring your environment so it reflects who you are now, and supports who you're becoming next. And here's the best part. You're not doing it for anyone else's standards. You're doing it for you. For your safety, your comfort, your dignity. 6 hacks. 6 steps. And just like Robert, you might be surprised how much your world can shift in just 48 hours. Let's take a breath here, because I know this isn't easy. Letting go is never just about getting rid of things. You're not just moving objects. You're moving through chapters of your life. That sweater you haven't worn in years? It reminds you of your sister. That dusty vase? It came from a trip you barely remember, but you know it mattered. That old chair? You rocked your first grandchild in it. So yes, it's emotional. But hear this from someone who cares deeply, your memories do not live in things. They live in you. In your stories. In the way your eyes light up when you talk about the past. In the love you carry into every new day. And clutter? It shouldn't write the last page of your story. Decluttering is not about losing your past. It's about making room, for safety. For peace. For presence. So your home can finally feel like the calm, supportive space it's meant to be, not a museum, but a sanctuary. Start small. 1 drawer. 1 shelf. 1 little corner you walk past every day. Apply just one of these 6 hacks today. Watch what happens. Notice how the room shifts. And more importantly, how you shift. Because the truth is, you've already lived through storms, through joy, through seasons that tested you and shaped you. You've earned the right to live in a space that reflects who you are now, not just who you once were. Your home should support your freedom, not challenge it. It should reflect your journey forward, not just where you've been. Let's quickly recap the 6 powerful hacks we walked through today. The one-touch rule, make 1 decision per item, no, maybe, piles. The 3 memory rule, choose just 3 keepsakes per category that hold deep meaning. The walkway test, clear at least 3 feet of space in every major path. The 10-item kitchen sweep, get rid of 10 unused gadgets or tools today. The, would I buy it today? Test, let go of items kept out of guilt or cost. The 48-hour room reset, tackle 1 room at a time, and transform your space in just 2 days. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these hacks spoke to you the most? Have you tried something similar in your own home? Or do you have a favorite decluttering tip that's helped you over the years? Share it in the comments, I read every single one. And if this video gave you even 1 new idea, 1 bit of peace, 1 moment where you felt seen, please subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Because here, we don't just talk about aging. We talk about living well. With dignity. With joy. With intention. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay intentional. And I'll see you in the next video.